no Fluttershy today, so
Oh.
no Flutterbutt. I'm sorry. But in any case, let's just wrap up this tactical debate topic with some competitive talk about the Pyro. This is actually we're talking about competitive Pyro. So, as a Pyro main, perhaps I'm not sure if you are still a Pyro main, but you're
I am.
mainly a Pyro main. But there
don't really play anymore, but all the same, still Pyro at heart.
Okay, so a very experienced Pyro player at Platinum level. So, as a yes, you played a lot, but I am a lowly medic from Steel, retired medic from Steel. So, poor medic.
I feel you.
But I have some misconceptions about the Pyro, perhaps. To me, I see a Pyro. When I see a Pyro main, especially in competitive, I see either one of two Pyros. One, a no-skill Pyro that only knows how to. I forget what's the phrase. I think it's
WM1?
No, not WM1. It's the other one. It's the Pyro main who does those combo kills. But he doesn't do combo kills like he mouse ones, then scroll wheel or air blast, then scroll wheels down to his flare gun, selects it, pulls it out, and flare guns. No, he's got like a sort of
the puffin sting,
like a hotkey setup or something like that, where he just pushes a button and all that performs automatically.
I'm not sure if it's automatic. It's just being quick. I feel like scripting is a lot.
There we go. That's what it is. Scripting. There we go. A scripting Pyro.
Developing
as in
bad habits.
He just downloaded or he just copied a Pyro script.
Oh, no.
I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying a Pyro who just scripted. He's not really selecting the weapon himself. He's not really, air blasting or so on. He's not doing all of that manually. Because if he was doing all that manually, I can understand that. I can respect it. I can say, all right, you did well. Nice kill on me. But I see that happen, and 95% of the time my brain thinks, bastard is scripting me. And I'm sorry for the language.
No.
I'm sorry for my French people. I'm sorry for the French. At least I think I'm French. I'm not sure where Rushy Ram is located.
Well, I'll let you know that I think most Pyro mains that have been accused of that in a pub or something, it actually kind of makes them feel good to hear people accusing them of a script, so.
No.
It's just, complimenting their speed and accuracy. I'm kidding. But no, a lot of people are kind of flattered by people almost accusing them of something.
And then you see and then I see the other Pyro that you mentioned before, the WM1 no skill flawed Pyro. So as a competitive Pyro player, would you say these two pretty much describe the Pyro, or at least in your eyes? I mean, is that all you ever do? Do you just spend your time behind the combo, just flaming and spy checking? When the spy's down, you just go on and attack the flank and kill poor scouts and medics with that script that I talked about earlier?
I think it's a lot more complicated than that. I think the Pyro is in an interesting position where, because of his range limitations, he finds himself being kind of the thinker of the team. A lot of times he's going to be the one looking behind. He's going to be one that's keeping track of where his teammates are, where the other teammates are, and kind of where he's of best use at any given point in time. So
the Pyro is the real brains behind the team.
In a way. I feel like he is in the best position to sit back and think a lot of the time, because there are only so many opportunities where you can be effective. I mean, not to say there are just some times where you're not going to find opportunity to be as effective, is what I'm trying to say. And during those times, it's good to be the one that is always thinking in the class. And in that sense, you always have to think, I guess the Pyro is kind of the best friend class. There are some times where he's going to be effective to everyone who's common. Well, okay. Sorry.
I'm just trying to make a pun, but ramble away,
no
Melon,
worries.
because,
But there are a lot of good pairings that the Pyro can have. He can be somebody that plays very aggressive with his demo man in some opportunities. There are times where he's going to be the one best suited to sit back, watch around, watch for spy, watch for scout. And other times where, you're going to find yourself in a position where your combo doesn't need you as much. And even though there's probably always an opportunity to help the combo in a way, there's just sometimes more of an opportunity to go and be a placeholder on the flank and be kind of that.
Now I'm glad you brought up the
in a way.
flank. I'm glad you brought up the flank right there. We've been talking about flanks a lot. Now, when we mention flanks, I mean, I think my brain just derped out when it came to the flank. I forgot what the flank over there. So, whew, oh my goodness. Okay. Now I'm remembering what it was. So let me just say it. Okay. When the Pyro works on the flank, is he supposed to stay on he's supposed to? Is he supposed to be staying on the flank, or is he only supposed to be there until, like, say, scout comes to take over or something like that?
Because
whenever I see flanking Pyros, that's all I ever see them do. They just run to the flank and then they just kill everyone. I mean, that's happened more games. When I see in the kill feed, I see the Pyro up. He got he combo killed the flare with the flare gun. Our scout up. We lost our sniper. Oh boy, he's behind me. Up, I'm dead. And then he just proceeds to melt my team.
Well, I'm happy you asked, because I don't think there's always a place for the Pyro to be necessarily staying in one position over the other, and I think that kind of goes back to being the thinker class. You always need to be on your feet of where you need to be. And there are some opportunities where, you have an opening to go to the flank, and then within seconds, your medic's nearing Uber, you're starting to get pressured a little bit over by the combo, and you're kind of expecting a jumper. Like, that's an opportunity where you have to be thinking about it at the right moment, or else you might not make it back in time for something that the other team will come back. There's always going to be off time spawns, and you always just have to be thinking about what is a likely situation. And sometimes it allows you a little bit of freedom to be on the flank. Other times, I think you're going to find yourself always in kind of an opportunity to go help out your combo. You think about pressure with the flank, and I think the biggest difference you'll notice between the lower divisions and the higher divisions is you're going to get punished a lot more over there. You're going to have less soldiers feeding you rockets to kind of air blast back at them for free. It's going to be more of really trying to trick you out, and really trying, you're going to have scouts trying to get in and get 2 meat shots off on you before you can really react. You're going to be taken advantage of a lot more. So,
all right, now that you brought up that, like, scenario where, like, say you're behind them and then you see the scouts on, let's just say you're behind enemy lines, you're in too deep, there's no way you're getting out alive.
Oh yeah,
which has happened very many times. Just let me continue, because this is actually something I want to debate with you about. All right, let's just say you're in that you're not getting out alive scenario. You're in too deep.
You gotta go.
There are two things that happen in my mind, like like door A and door B. So there are 2 doors. Door A, I can be tactical about it, which is, I'm a tactician. I think tactically. Do I try to go for, like, say, 1 key pick? If I can bring 1 person out and take them with me into the spawn queue, and let's just say I could, perhaps, like, no guarantee, but I could. That's door A. Possibly get one person to die with me before I kick the bucket in that situation. Or I go with door B, which is what I think 95% of Pyros will end up doing. They'll just pull out their flamethrower and just start spraying shit everywhere. Do as much damage as they can. Burn as much damage as they can. Hope their teammates can follow up on it before they kick the bucket. I mean,
I would actually have to argue against you there.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah, I would
the debate.
Say door A is the likely option. Like, I gotta say that, when you're in too deep, I think you realize it, the other team realizes it, and you're kind of in a very, almost an embarrassing situation where you're going to be the easy, oh, what is he doing, Pyro pick, or you're going to be one that tries to take somebody out with them and at least kind of accept your loss with something. It's better than kind of trying to flee back or do a lot of useless damage.
Both scenarios, you're doing something at least. Yeah. I mean, in door A, there's no guarantee you're going to kill someone with you, but at least in door A, you're not guaranteed to kill someone, but at least you are going to, deal a lot of damage to, say, one person. But in door B, you deal as much damage as you can. You're definitely not going to kill anyone. I mean, because you're obviously going to die, but you deal as much damage as you can. You spray as much fire everywhere. You hope your teammates can follow up on that burn damage. I mean, that's door B. So
I think the hard thing about that is if
B.
you're in a situation where you find yourself stuck and your kind of get out escape moment is to do as much damage as you can, unless your team is already prepped for that, it's kind of, it's not going to be useful damage, and it's going to be kind of a useless death for you as well. And that actually goes back to the flank discussion of, when you should be on the flank and what you should be doing on the flank, because I think the risk a lot of people have is Pyro isn't exactly a class that is meant for flanks. I think you're going to find yourself dying on the flank, and you'll think about whether or not that death is worth it. And a lot of times you could have been useful somewhere else, and by dying, you were really taken out of that for a while. So unless you make it worthwhile in that feat, it's kind of just a lot of wasted time going through that entire effort, and a lot of wasted time where you could have maybe helped somewhere else on the team or prevented something.
So you would definitely go with the door A approach, the tactical approach. Perhaps try and
I guess so. As in a situation, try to save my shame of being in too deep and caught out.
At least make sure you bring someone with you. I mean,
exactly.
maybe it was a tactical death. Maybe it was a tactical death. You're going down, but you're making sure you bring someone key on the other team with you.
You gotta be situational. If you miss it for like a half a second, all of a sudden your opportunity might be gone. So you gotta take it while you have it.
Strike while the iron is hot, as they say.
Yes.
Okay, so...
But yeah, it's a risky situation. I find that if you play the flank, a lot of times it's better to hold fort, be that factor where their flank should not push into you, and really detract the fact that they shouldn't be flanking you. And if they do, you can maybe aggress with your flank mates and get an easy pick. Like, never play on it alone, but if you play with others, you guys can be quite the force.
Okay, so here's something I've been wanted to ask you about. I'm not sure if Pyros actually do this. I mean, I see this like say once or twice, where some Pyros, they try to go for these skill plays. I mean, I've seen a few Pyros in professional plays. I mean, or at least a gold level or platinum level. They go for these skill jumps, as Pyros call it.
You mean pyro jumps?
Yeah, pyro jumps. There we go.
Okay,
pyro jumps, where they reflect a rocket or a grenade or an opposing soldier or rocket or demo man grenade. They reflect it at their own feet, and then they use the jump to propel themselves toward the enemy team.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And they go for these like skill plays or something. I mean,
kind of. It's kind of like, the moment you start that, you realize it's going to be like an absolutely
it's either going to be a glorious moment or you're just going to die in shame.
You are literally just like putting yourself in there for no reason and hoping it works out well, because it's going to be really, really awesome if it does. But, basically once you do that jump, you have no idea what's going to happen.
There's no going back.
It's going to be really embarrassing because the other team's going to see it and be like, what the fuck? They're jumping. This is so stupid. And then if you get a pick, they're going to be like, oh, that was kind of cool, but that was awful. But, it's a huge difference there.
I mean, do Pyros do that? I mean, I think Pyros do. I think Pyros do that personally just for the surprise factor. They're like for that brief
tactical.
2 seconds, in which they're staring at you, watching as you jump over toward them on their own team's rocket or grenade, and they're just flabbergasted. And in the 2 seconds they're not shooting at you, for example, you jump down and you deal a whole lot of damage before they realize it. I mean, that's what crosses through my head. That's what crosses through my head whenever I see it.
Most people are going to shoot you down before you get there. You're kind of an easy spray out for all the hit scan classes. But I think the moment...
I mean, I see it rarely. I see it rarely.
Yeah, no, it rarely happens. I mean, I think a lot of us, it kind of goes through the thought process where you see this beautifully angled rocket slide right to your right side.
It just slides into,
and
it's just
the
sliding
perfect
into
rocket
place.
jump rocket. And sometimes you just feel the urge, even if you're doing something, you just find the urge to do it.
It's the golden moment.
Yeah, and it's a horrible idea. Like, I mean, most people resist the urge.
So it is a horrible idea.
Well, yeah, most of the idea you're going to resist the urge because you know that it's most likely going to be a waste of life at maybe a bad opportunity. It's maybe going to be bad timing. And it's all in all, it's going to be a waste of life. But, sometimes if you are in a scrim or something, or even if you're in a match, you just see that beautifully angled rocket, and you're like,
pull out that pyro
nothing
jump
to lose. And this has no thinking behind it. You literally just aren't even thinking about what you're doing in the long retrospect. Yeah, you just do it. And then you have that moment going through the air, kind of seeing whether or not you can get anything done. Most of the time, actually, you're going to get shot down, and it's going to be kind of awkward. But some of the times, you might land perfectly and get a pick, a quick pick, a quick, the
force on the medic.
Yeah, you can do a force on the medic.
You panic the medic so much because
he
sees this pyro jumping towards him and he knows his team is too stupid to shoot him down.
Yeah. Well, there was one time where I jumped and I reflected a demo pill out there because that everyone goes for the air shots, and I reflected it back at him, and then I died. But I felt really good about it. Well, not really, but I kind of felt
you still
a tiny
took
bit
someone
good about
with
it.
you.
I didn't, but I did hit him, so I kind of felt kind of awesome for a moment, even though it was kind of embarrassing. But I had another time. You see, most of mine end in fails, where perfectly angled rocket. It was on granary or something, and we're sitting in the midsection between second and mid, and the yard. I forgot what it's called. Got a perfect rocket jump, jumped up to the area where you climb up to the top of mid, and immediately died. But it was really cool because I hit it perfectly, I landed perfectly, and I kind of landed in a choke, so unfortunately I was a very easy kill then. But, it was one of those things where I was flying through the air thinking oh yeah, here we go.
Okay, so pyro jump not viable and competitive. Okay, so
I mean, it could be there's definitely a chance it will work out beautifully, but most of the time it will not.
But it's not going to work. So
yeah,
don't do it do it, people. Don't do it. It's not worth it.
It's really beautiful though.
Beautiful, but not worth it.
Yeah.
Save it for pubs.
Absolutely.
But, okay, so
pubs
here's probably the really big question. Okay. Kritzkrieg plus pyro.
Oh my god.
You're a pyro. The enemy team has the Kritzkrieg. I always see, because I'm a medic, I always think, oh crap, the pyro's on the other team. Please get this. I want to give it to the soldier or to the demo because they're huge damage dealers, but at the same time, I'm so afraid of that pyro
being crits on you.
No, reflecting the crits.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
that's why you do it against the demo,
as a medic,
you can reflect the stickies, but not very far usually if they dead them right away.
Yeah, but here's the thing: whenever a medic pops Kritzkrieg, it's not a long range. No. It's mid to close range crits. That's how it always is for medics. Mm-hmm. We medics never like to go long range for anything. And obviously mid to close range pyro specialty. So, as a pyro player, when you see that crits, are you just waiting to hold the mouse too for when the crits goes live, or are you waiting, or are you trying to spot for the crits when they start the crits, or say
you want to make sure you have your primary out. You want to make sure that you're kind of ready to receive whatever it's going to be, and usually it's on a demo. And if you reflect crit stickies the right moment before they can det, you can actually get them away from you and kind of walk back with your medic. But most of the time, they can get a perfect det. Or not most of the time, but a lot of the time they get a perfect det. They can kill you anyway. But at least you can maybe get a sticky or two off. If it's on the soldier, all of a sudden that changes things. You might get a little excited about getting one back at them. But all in all, you want to be ready for the crits. You want to make sure you have ammo. You want to make sure you're kind of watching the angle that you need to be to walk your medic or whoever else is around out. And a lot of times that's your demo too. You're also up there trying to keep it off your demo.
Yeah, as a medic man, whenever I run crits, which is rarely, and I do run it on the demo, 95% of the time I'm not even pushing because the Pyro is up on the other team. Even if I have a demo, because sometimes when he fires his sticky, this has happened to me so many times. The Pyro actually manages to get the perfect reflect on it. And not only sends it back at us, but back at me. And when the demo pops it, bam.
Oh, well, that's kind of not good on your demo then.
I mean, it's not the demo's fault.
Like, the Pyro shouldn't be able to reflect it all the way back into your combo. Like, I don't know what range he's
but here's the
popping
thing:
at.
it's like a surprise Pyro play, for example.
Yeah,
like
but
we don't know where the Pyro is, but we still have to push in. We pop in, and then it's like the Pyro is magically in the perfect spot at the right angle with the perfect timing to reflect it at us.
I think that's the situation you put yourself in as Pyro. You either need to kind of reflect the stickies and like help your team get out, or you're going to rush their demo and try to get it all up in his face, and then he's kind of forced to get his stickies on the thing in front of him rather than at the team behind him. Well, behind the Pyro.
But that's one thing I wanted to
it's something you have to think
debate about you with is like, do you Pyros actually do that on purpose? Do you like somehow magically appear in the perfect spot at the perfect angle with the precise timing for he's about to pop. When he tosses, it's going to be like a 0.3 second difference in which from medic popping to demo starting to spam. So I jump out at the corner at this precise 75-degree angle, and then air blast at precisely 0.6 seconds afterwards, so that the reflect pops right back at him, and the demo pops the sticky exactly half a millisecond after that.
Oh my gosh, how do you think of all that? I mean, it's not down to math like that.
No, it's not down to math like that, but that's how it feels like. It's like they have this perfect timing.
Well, you do.
I mean, I'm not sure if you saw that one video about the soldier who, it's like a source film in which the soldier is like going through all these formulas and mathematics about when the demo is just sticky jumping. Yeah, the air shot one. Yeah, and it's so like funny. all this mathematics and timing.
I love that video. It's fantastic.
And it's like,
do you
have moments like that?
Well,
I mean, it feels like to me that the Pyro is always thinking like that.
I mean, in a way, you kind of train yourself to really know the firing patterns of the projectile classes that you deal with the most, I think. And in a lot of sense, you have to kind of work up your reaction with that. You really work up your reaction till you hear the sticky fire, or you kind of like they're going to probably charge up for wherever your team's going to be. And based on that, you don't want to pre-fire. You want to kind of wait until you hear it and can react to it in appropriate range. And on the same sense, you do think about the fact that their critzing are going to get into you, and you kind of position yourself to do your best job at helping your team out, whether it be cutting them off close range or walking them out long range. And of course, if everybody can get out fine, that's not something a Pyro has to sacrifice themselves for. Like, if everyone's clear and out and everyone can just like cross around the corner really quick. But I mean, you still always want to put yourself in a position to maybe get that reflect off and help your team out, and hopefully everyone will survive. But you do think about these things, and I think you really kind of start memorizing these patterns.
Definitely sounds like you Pyros definitely do
firing and movement, all these things.
But in any case, we are starting to run way over time. We are now over the 20. We are now over the 25-minute mark, I'm afraid. So
that goes quick.
Yeah, definitely does go quick, MelonLord. But this has been I'm afraid this has been our last time. You and I will sit here and debate the topics about the Pyro and competitive play.
Oh wow!
Unless you want to keep going, unless you want to do another round. It's because I'm the Rushy Ram. It's because I'm Rushy Ram, isn't it? Zekrom lover.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, tell Zekrom stay on his side of the field. All right, stay on his side of the field and stay away from my hat. I like my hat. He could get his own hat. It's stupid Zekrom. I'm gonna smack him around next time I see him. But in any case, this has been Imperatordavius and
Melon.
You are really
I can tell when you're gonna introduce me. All right, this is the MelonLord.
This has been Imperatordavius and this has been MelonLord. We will see you all next time on Tactical Debate. Ciao.
Bye, guys.